Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. We are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
It's not the lack of demand why we're back.
Is it not?
No, it's due to the lack of demand for your holy trousers.
My holy jeans. Oh yeah, they're back.
Do we need to do like a little crowdfunding
Yeah,
for new trousers?
go fund me. That's it. Yeah. As you can see, I like to repair my jeans, and the repairs are actually broken.
That's good.
So you can kind of see my knee through the repair.
You can finger your jeans.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Yeah,
It's good, isn't it? It's what happens when you have a land shark as a pet. Yeah.
I didn't actually know where you were going with that for a minute. You do have a land shark, yeah. Today's super awesome video sponsor is MOBAPAD. Long-time viewers will know that MOBAPAD is our absolute favourite brand for Switch controllers and Joy-Cons, so it's genuinely a real joy to promote them. Seriously, their Joy-Con alternatives are a genuine game changer. No more drifting, no more hand cramps, just awesomely spec'd, great-looking Joy-Cons. And the Pro controllers are just as epic too. They're packed with features and feel amazing in your hands, all at a really competitive price. So if you're looking for a Joy-Con alternative or a new Pro controller, check out MOBAPAD on the link below. Wow. Can I just say, my week in gaming,
mind blown.
my life's been changed.
Has it actually?
It actually has.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah,
Go on,
Switch
tell me
2
about
has this should be the title for this. Switch 2 has changed my life.
Switch 2 has changed my life.
No, it shouldn't be unexpected because my experience of the Ally X was exactly the same.
Yes.
But it wasn't what I was expecting from the Switch 2.
Okay. Yeah.
And that is
That
I'm playing exclusively handheld.
Wow. Yeah, see, that it surprises me because you usually are just console to the TV.
I'm sat in front of my
Massive TV.
Massive TV.
Yeah.
And quite often I'll just put like a podcast on that.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and I'm playing exclusively handheld.
That's crazy.
And I don't know why.
You know what's really weird? I'm kind of the opposite at the minute.
Oh, no way.
I've been playing more docked Switch than I ever played Switch 1 docked.
We should definitely retitle this podcast. The Switch 2 changed us. Because that's literally the opposite way around.
Yeah, and well, it's kind of apt, I think, for this title of the video, with it being the Switch 2 versus Ally X, and I'll get into that a bit more later. But yeah, I've been playing more docked than handheld, and that's surprised me, weirdly.
I think a part of it is, I imagine you're playing docked on your OLED monitor.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And that looks better than the built-in LCD screen, obviously.
Yes.
But I've been playing handheld, and I think since you put it's so superficial and stupid, since you put the matte screen protector on it,
really
I love
changes
how it
everything.
looks.
It's so premium, isn't it? It really does. Cuts all glare reflections. You don't see yourself dribbling like in the reflection.
Yeah, straight up my nose.
Yeah.
That horrible under chin
look.
look.
But it does feel more premium.
It does.
I slap it on everything now.
Yeah.
Even to the point that I'm happy with my OLED monitor.
Yeah.
Is anti-glare. Even though that's the number one complaint of it online. I've got the Samsung G6 monitor, and people are like, it's matte. It's like, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I would pay more for a matte screen. Like, screw your gloss.
It's always been, I'm going to go off on a weird tangent.
Yeah,
it's always been a bugbear. I've always had Macs for work.
Yes.
Like, since the music days.
Apples, yeah.
It works better for music stuff, so I've just kind of stuck in that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And like the iMacs are all gloss screens.
Yeah.
The actual monitor behind the screen is it's a thing Mac do best, is their screens are
very
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, very nice.
But in front of it, it's always gloss. And it does my head in.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have a window behind you.
No.
You can't have a light too far behind you.
Yeah, no.
So you have to set yourself up in a position that's like, nothing's going to reflect on this.
Back cave it.
Yeah, so I'll also have a second monitor that's just for like whatever, like emails and stuff. And that, because it's normally a PC monitor, it's always matte. And I'm like, that looks better than this gloss thing. And the screen in anyway, that's my weird tangent. So since you put the matte screen protector on the Switch 2, I firstly fell in love with that almost like tangible feeling that it gives
It's really nice, isn't it? Tactile,
yeah. But now I don't even think to switch the TV on. I just pick it up and I just go, I'm going to play. And I remember the feeling with the Ally X because I remember saying to you, it's made me just want to play games more.
Yes.
And more for less often.
Yes. Yeah.
As in, like, I'll just pick up on with the thought of I'll just play for 5 minutes.
It's very easy to jump in.
5 minutes always turns into 2 hours.
Absolutely, yeah. But the intention is just to play short, which is good because it means you're like, oh, just have a quick bit of fun, and then it leads to more. Whereas I always had that dreaded setting a console up on the TV of like,
you're taking over the room.
It's a big ordeal.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I have to play for ages. Maybe I'm not even really that in the mood, and I've got to turn the TV on. Maybe I've got to change the AV, like the source, and I got to like reset the soundbar or something.
And it's also it's like you share a home with anyone, which of course pretty much we all do now. Like you're taking over the space.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's got to pay attention and reverence to. The gaming is happening now.
Yes.
Or you've got to have a whole separate room. I'm sure a lot of people do. You take over, don't you? And,
yes.
And handheld gaming gives you that. The Switch gives you that ability beautifully. Yeah. But also, I can feel like I can be part of the room whilst you watch your film or TV. And I can...
not be present.
I can, guilt-free zone out.
Yeah.
But it has made me pick it up and play it way more. And there has been moments where I'm like, yeah, I've got half an hour, and I just pick up and play. Where before, if I had half an hour, I just put some YouTube on and watch some TV.
Yeah.
Now I'll just pick it up and play it. So it's literally changed how I engage with gaming.
Yeah.
The Ally X did that for a while, but the Switch is doing it consistently.
Yeah, and I think that just purely comes down to, I know we're going to go more in deep dive, but I think that just comes down to the fact that Switch 2 is a console.
Yes.
You press the button, it's on. You press game, it play.
Yep.
Whereas Ally X, it's just a PC.
Yeah.
So you've got to do the faffing.
Yep.
Or do I have to check for updates on 3 different things right now?
I've not played that. I've not played that game for a month. I've got.
Oh, Call of Duty's got another 8,000 gigabyte download.
I know. Long time channel member Crumbly Pork.
Yes.
He quite often's like, he'll send a message on the Discord like, are you coming out to play? And by that he means like Call of Duty.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And then quite often he'll be like, God, got an 80 gig update.
Yeah.
Like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have all that fun when it comes to Switch 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, I think because you are at heart a console gamer, it's more homely and just quick. I even feel it to grab your Switch 2 and it just be in the thing. Whereas I know when I've picked up my Ally X, I'm like, this is probably just a me thing of being a bit mental. Of I have to check everything for updates before I start playing anything. So when I turn it on, even if it's been 2 days, I'll turn it on. Go to the Microsoft Store, check for updates, go to Windows updates, go to Armory Crate updates, go to my ASUS updates, open every launcher I've got. Like, even if I'm not going to play that game, I'll open frickin' Uplay or whatever it's called now. I'll open Steam, I'll open Xbox Game Pass, and I open everything and make sure everything's up to date before I can then play.
It's like having something else to maintain, isn't it? It's like maintenance.
And it's just, I don't know why, like in my head, I'm like, I just got to make sure it's all up to date. And now I'm chill, and now I can play my game. But that takes so much time.
Yeah.
Whereas on the Switch, like if it's got an update, it will just go, restart your system now. I'm like, okay, fine. And then it's done. You don't have to actively do anything.
Yeah, there's been a couple of games where there's been patches. I think Mario Kart World had another patch recently.
It did, yeah. I don't know. What was this, like breaking stuff, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, it was like changing the way that you can't skip the intermission races now. So it's forcing you to do these intermission races.
Oh.
Yeah, so before, if you clicked random on a match,
you could just pick 3 lap
races. Yeah, and you could go straight into it. They've taken that away now.
Yeah.
So you are forced to do their like intermission races. People
I'm going to be really
upset.
Controversial, and I say I like the intermission races.
Yeah, I don't dislike them.
I think it's fun.
I think it's fine, yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's a different game, though. It's totally different.
But people have been really upset about that.
I know. And I think there's a bit of it where people just want the same game again.
Yeah. They just want Mario Kart 8.
They just want an improved Mario Kart 8. And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And it isn't... I can definitely appreciate their frustrations, but I just kind of... I don't know. I take a step back and look at it and go, it's just a different game now.
Yeah.
And that is this game.
Yeah.
And you'll grow to get used to it.
I like it.
But I like the traversing the world and the intermission.
Yeah.
I do wish that you had more than one lap at the destination. Maybe they were closer or I don't know. But it's a kind of, it's not really a big deal.
No, I don't think so.
No.
But people have been really upset by it.
No. again, I played that a bit handheld as well, which I'd only been playing on the TV. 'Cause I'd only really been playing it when we were doing multiplayer stuff.
Yes.
But I was like, you know what, I'm going to play it handheld, and it's just epic. I think a lot of it is because the performance is so much better handheld now.
It is so good versus the Switch One.
Yeah.
Like, it's unbelievably good compared.
Like, it's a solid experience now.
I've been playing, I've not actually been playing any Mario Kart or anything for a while, actually. I don't know why. Well, I do know why, because I've been playing Zelda. So I've finally, people have been complaining like to me about the fact that I say I've not completed Breath of the Wild in like 8 years, and that I'd only done like one Divine Beast, but I'd sunk like 100 hours into the game, right? But I got to that point where I'd like stopped. Performance is terrible in the Korok Forest where the Master Sword is, which is where I'd saved. And I was like, ugh. And I just never could bring myself to go back. I was like, no, I've got the Switch 2 version now, included with the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. So I was like, I'm going to give it a go. Because I like really want to play Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm like, no, I should finish Breath of the Wild. So like I was like, I'm not playing again. I'll tell you that. I'm going to load my save from like 50 years ago.
I'll figure it out.
And I'll figure it out. Yeah, it landed me right outside the forest where you've got to go through all the like there's like mist. And I was just like, oh, I don't know all the buttons. I can't remember how to get through this forest. And you just hold like a torch, follow the flame, like, thing. So it was fine. I did that and I was like, wow, this runs so nicely. Like, this is a night and day difference. Like, absolute massive game changer. And then I was like, I'm going to play this now. So I'm like way further ahead. I've done another Divine Beast. I've got like 10 more hearts or whatever, which you got to do 4 shrines per heart.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. So, and you know what's really got me going? And anyone that's been long-time viewers of us know that I have like open world dread.
Yes.
Where I just don't want to do it.
Yeah,
There's too much to do.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know where stuff is.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered to be trudging around. Do you know what I mean? Just give me a direction.
I just look at how much there is to do, and I'm like, oh, there's too much to do.
Breath of the Wild, there's no direction. The main quest is, go on then. Like, there's literally no direction.
Off you go.
The main quests in my quest log are defeat Ganon. That's the end game boss.
That's a given.
Yeah. Wicked. The next one is do the Divine Beast. Doesn't show you where they are. Oof. So you have to find them in this massively sprawling landscape. And then there's another one, which is, I can't remember, but what I was going to get at is the reason why I've been loving this game is Zelda Notes app on your phone.
Yeah.
Because it shows you everything.
To give you location markers.
You can disable it so it doesn't, but it says this is spoilers for the game. And
I've got a question about the app. Does it know your location?
It's real time.
In real time?
Sat-nav, real time linked to your game.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yes, that's what I mean. You have your phone open. As you walk, your little dude's walking around, Link's walking about on your phone. So you can go, like, you can sat-nav it, literally. So you can say, I want to get to this shrine. And it'll go north and follow the road. And then you do it and it goes like head west and go south, east or whatever. Like, it actually tells you. I don't need to do that because I can read a map. I'm not like 5 years old. But so I've not been using navigation.
Right, showing off.
No, but it's there for people that find map reading difficult. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a good thing. I don't need it. It doesn't force it on you. So I'm just showing the map and I go, I want to go there. Cool. So now I just go there. Like, it has been a lifesaver.
That's amazing.
To the point where I'm actually enjoying Breath of the Wild again.
What's nice of that is that it's a step in between. There's always the temptation to find guides online.
This is it.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem with guides online is that they tell you everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, there's too much information.
Yeah.
Just want to know which direction I should probably head in.
It's just a sat-nav.
Yeah. So it's like in between that.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't tell you how to do the shrine.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any of that, which is, again, a really good thing. And you can disable, so it only shows stuff you've found. So there's no help, really.
Yeah.
But then you can say, okay, I'm looking for this monster, and you like click on that, and it will say, oh, they're over there, or whatever. But for me, I'm like, oh no, I want the spoilers.
Yeah.
Where is every shrine?
Yeah.
And then I look at my map and go, oh, there's like 2 left in this area. Instead of me going away, I'll just go over and do those.
Yeah.
Whereas before, maybe we never would have seen them because they're hidden. And that's the thing. There's some of them, like I came to this point and it said, there's a shrine around here. So no, there isn't. and it was underneath the cliff face that I was stood on top of, buried in rock. So I had to fly across to the next side, and there's just a big boulder like precariously placed on the edge. I had to stop time with stasis, hit it with my sword, and then once the stasis wears off, it shoots the rock across the canyon, blows the wall off, and then there's a shrine in there. So it's not it's not a guide telling you, but I knew there was a shrine somewhere, so I had to figure it out. And it's great.
Good. That's good. That's perfect.
And that's the thing I'm loving, because now I don't have that open world dread. If I want to find a shrine, I just look at the map. Okay, it's there.
Yeah.
But now I've got to figure out how to do the puzzle.
I mean, purists will hate that.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. And I'm sure, I know from when we've covered, like, I think we even did a whole podcast on like not liking open worlds for that reason.
We have, yeah. I much prefer linear games.
Yeah,
because I'm just weird.
And I know we're not alone from that. Like, there's that dread that does happen where you're just chucked into the middle of a massive map and you go, off you go. You're like, there's too much to do.
I'm fine if it gives me a pointer. Yeah. Like, okay, there's the main mission, because then I can mess around.
Yes.
But Breath of the Wild doesn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess RPGs forever have been guilty of that, to be fair.
Yeah.
But having in between a full guide and just nothing.
Yeah.
Sat-nav is it? Yeah.
This needs to be on every game. Like, it's only for Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Yeah. But I'm actually playing them now, and I'm really enjoying it. And again, the performance of the Switch 2 is one of the main reasons.
With like how cool it would be with like Metroid Dread. I think that's a very recent experience playing it.
Yes.
And I'm constantly opening the map, zooming in.
Yeah.
And how cool would it be to have it on your phone, be able to pinch zoom, move around, or have like, because on that you've got areas, and when you open the map, you'll see a detailed map of your area, and then you have, if you want to see another place, you have to go out to the global view, then find the place, and then go into it.
Yep.
It'd be a lot easier if you could just
have it open on your phone.
Open on your phone.
Yes. Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. But so that means you've been playing entirely on your TV.
Pretty much. I have been playing it handheld still. It's not been entirely like, you know, on the TV, but 90% docked. I would say at the minute. Really I've been playing it a lot handheld with random stuff, but for like shorter periods of times.
Yeah.
And the main reason is the Pro Controller.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because I'm really... Zelda's such a weird one. Why is X jump? Like, why? Like, I know I can rebind them handheld, but it's just annoying. Like, so I'm like, no. And I don't want to I don't want to swap the locations around.
No.
So with the Pro Controller, I can rebind jump to the back paddle, and I can put
having back paddles on the Nintendo controller is just a big deal.
Yeah, and the fact that they're saved per game, per user, so I don't have to open Cyberpunk and change my rebinding. It does it for me automatically. It doesn't even say anything. It's just like, there they are. So that's one of the biggest reasons for me.
I don't like to self-congratulate too much, but I just want to say, when we went to the Switch 2 preview event and we were like, the controller, wow, big deal.
Yeah.
And I know that video did really well. A lot of people saw it. It got shared a lot. But there was a lot of like, obviously with that, you get a lot of people that don't normally watch you. And they were kind of like, what you want about? It's never going to be worth the whatever price it is they're asking. How much is it again?
It's expensive. It's like 80.
Yeah, 70. I did really think it was expensive. But we're like, no, it's definitely worth the money because it's like their premium controller compared to... Can I just say, it's really lovely to see all the positive reaction, not to our video, I mean, just online to the controller, kind of justifying our stance.
Yeah.
Like, now people have got it, they're like, oh,
it's actually really good.
And I've seen loads of videos and posts and Reddit threads and stuff like this controller's amazing.
Yeah. Loads of commenters as well saying thank you for showing it because I'm loving it. Yeah. You know? And it is amazing. And that's one of the main reasons for me. Did you see someone that put up a video about how it hurt them? Like the Pro Controller like hurt me or something like that. And it's a big YouTuber. I feel like, I don't know if I want to name drop him because I feel kind of embarrassed for the guy. He's got like repetitive strain clearly from other problems, not from the Pro Controller. And he's blaming it
from that. No.
He's blaming it on the Pro Controller specifically. So
I would understand if someone said the actual Switch 2 itself gave them like wrist strain or
the handheld. I'd understand that because it's so unergonomic.
Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
Still a Switch. The ergonomics are way better, but it's still Switch.
Yeah.
And that's actually a really nice kind of segue to the kind of main point, I guess.
Yes.
It's like comparing it to the Ally X. That's the most recent kind of big handheld.
That's the top dog.
Which is still the leading edge of like handheld gaming, is the Ally X.
Yeah.
As Switch 2's come along, we've kind of jumped over and focused a lot on that. We're still covering everything, if you're wondering.
Yes.
It is handheld gaming, but
We're
Switch
not
2 right
just paid Nintendo shills, we're paid ASUS shills
You're not
as well.
a paid Nintendo shill. It's because I get all the money.
That's it, yeah.
The checks. No, I'll take that check. Yeah, no, I'll make sure Andy gets his. Yeah, it's fine.
That's it, yeah.
No, it's a really interesting kind of like comparison.
Yes.
I want to kind of preface it with, obviously, they don't really overlap.
No.
One's a handheld PC.
Yes.
That's like the bleeding edge of handheld gaming performance.
Yeah.
And the other is a Nintendo Switch.
Exactly, yeah. One's a console.
One's a console that's handheld. The other's a PC that's handheld.
Yeah.
But the ergonomics is a really nice place to start.
Yes.
Because you recently went back and you did some videos playing with the Ally X.
Yeah, I've just been playing the Ally X, like, testing some other products and also just trying stuff like Stellar Blade and whatever, games I wanted.
Yeah. How long until that comes on Switch 2, by the way? They're talking about it.
I was going to say, it looks like it might, because when they hit 3 million sales of Stellar Blade, the developer bought all employees a Switch 2.
Yeah.
And apparently they've got a dev kit, so they're testing it out. I mean, 6 months, a year, maybe. I don't know.
That's like a that's a real moment.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's a PlayStation game.
This is a big issue I've got that we'll, I suppose, talk. Well, I'll just say it now. My issue right now is because I have both an Ally X and a Switch 2, and previously the Switch was the only AAA handheld console.
Yeah,
I was rebuying loads of Steam games or like PC games on the Switch 2.
Yeah,
but now I've got access to both. It's like I need to stop myself buying games that I've got or would buy on PC that are coming to Switch 2.
Yeah,
because I can just play them on my Ally X. I need to try and keep like Nintendo exclusives to the Switch 2.
You need to so you're deciding which to buy on which place,
or if it's considerably better on Switch 2.
I think if you're in that like lucky minority, I'm sure it's not that common. Someone's got an Ally X and a Switch 2.
Yeah,
if you're in that position, third party stuff, if it's available on Steam, get it on the get it on the Ally X.
It's going to be cheaper and
probably going to be better.
Yeah. To an extent.
In some situations, there's some weird, genuinely unexpected moments that are happening right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nintendo exclusives get on the Switch 2. But before I get onto like that kind of weird, those anomalies and the performance things, ergonomics.
Yes, ergonomics, yeah.
That's where we started.
There's a huge difference between the Ally X and the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And this lies as to the main reason I think I've been playing docked more on the Switch 2.
Well, but what's interesting is when the Ally X came out, I remember seeing complaints about its weight.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's got an 80 watt-hour battery in it.
It's massive.
It's heavy. And I remember hearing people complaining that gave them wrist strain.
Yeah.
That they found it unergonomic.
They need to go to the gym.
Work on your grip strength.
Do some forearm training.
Well, I mean, there's multiple ways you can train your forearms. That's all I'm going to say.
Indeed, yeah. On Stellar Blade.
The Gooners Gym. Yeah, good. So I saw a lot of people complaining about the ergonomics of the Ally X.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I think it's probably the most ergonomic handheld there is right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, I would say, yeah. I've not had hands-on with a Lenovo, whatever their weird Steam OS thing is at the minute.
Nope. It's comparable with the Steam Deck. It's heavier than the Steam Deck.
It's more ergonomic than the Steam Deck, in my opinion.
Yeah, because of the layout.
Because of the asymmetrical joysticks. And I know that's going to upset a lot of people. I found that the symmetrical joystick layout, whilst it is more ergonomic than the Switch,
it's harder to aim.
It's harder to aim because that right stick is so high that you've got you're overreaching on the top end of the
I was constantly over aiming.
That's what I found. And when the Ally X came to us and was like, I tested it out and I was shocked, because that asymmetrical stick with its big grip on the back meant I could actually aim freely like I was using an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
So, weird. So Yeah, I would say the Ally X, for me, for what I've tried, is the best ergonomic device out yet.
The weight is a significant thing.
Yeah.
The Switch 2's ergonomics, we praised them in the preview event, we praised them at the release. They are massive, and that's praising them in reference to the Switch 1.
Yes.
They're massively better than the Switch 1.
It's way better than the Switch 1, like night and day better.
But
absolutely.
That needs to be prefaced with, it is still a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Nothing's really changed. No. It's just bigger.
It's just
a little bit more rounded.
A big brother to the Switch 1.
Yeah.
And my issue still lies in, if you're playing anything that requires that twin stick,
it's a write-off.
It's a write-off.
Write-off. Twin stick's a write-off on that.
Because the right stick is so low, and like, again, this is just comes down to the fact that the Joy-Cons are straight up and down.
Yeah.
There's no angling. There's no grip on the back. They are flat still. And it's fine. If you're playing any game where you need left stick and face buttons, it's perfectly fine.
Yes.
And I'm fine with that. But once you need to hit that right stick, I'm still dropping my hand down so that my like fingers are resting under the screen so that I can hold it more ergonomically.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like it's better than Switch 1. But when you then pick up an Ally X, it's like, oh, okay. It's like holding a Pro controller.
It's no surprise that the first accessory everyone is looking for is grips for it.
Yes.
The Switch 2.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking for grips.
Those will help.
They will definitely help.
Yes.
Can we just have massive shout out to D-Brand for breaking everyone's...
And then just poo-pooing it? Not like... They put out like an announcement or whatever, basically.
They did, yeah. It's not as bad as that. I am being jestful, but it's not. It's just that the Joy-Cons become detached when you're using it handheld. It's not a big deal.
That's a pretty big deal.
It's a pretty big deal.
I feel really bad for anyone that bought that.
I don't think it's actually broken anyone's Switches yet.
Well, it will in a minute, won't it?
Yeah, I'm just hoping everyone's got the message. They're going to replace everyone's.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
not the Switch.
No, just to replace everyone's Switch.
They just overlooked the fact that the gap is actually quite important.
There for a reason.
For how the magnetism actually works.
As you would expect. I mean, it's even in the...
it's in the welcome
tour. You know, this is Nintendo. They've thought about everything.
I was genuinely shocked that anyone would think that little gap that they've left, which shows colour, would be an accident.
Yes.
Like, well, it's showing us colour, so it must be a design.
It's absolutely there for wiggle, and they even show you the connector moving. Like, yes. This is Japanese engineering at its finest.
Really,
like,
it really is.
They are on point.
Now, it's a shame that with that Japanese engineering at its finest, it's a shame that Nintendo will never move on the Joy-Con design. They didn't throughout the whole Switch 1. They could fix it really easily with like a Pro Joy-Con.
They need to release a Pro Joy-Con for adults.
But they won't.
Will we see it this year? Or like this time round with the Switch 2?
I think it's too important to the branding of the Switch.
Yeah, that it looks like a Switch.
Yeah.
Just make one that goes fat on the back then.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
And they've pinned their flag to the mast on, like, that's important to the Switch because it's the branding of it.
Yeah.
The Joy-Cons are. But also the thinness was like one of the first things they talked about.
Yes.
And I think that they're holding that over all else.
Yeah.
And the thinness is really impressive.
It's amazing. Like I really love the whole design of it.
Yeah.
Like I really do. And slap a grip on there and you're ready to go.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I love the whole design. It's just a little bit of a hang up on the fact that they haven't given you an ergonomic option, like a Pro Joy-Con. They just need to release a Pro Joy-Con. Freaking charge whatever you want for it. 100 quid. I don't care. Yeah. Just make a Pro Joy-Con with some back paddles on it. You know, and
so the Pro controller split.
Exactly. Yeah. Full size joysticks. Because that is another thing that bugs me.
I was going to get to it. Yeah.
But yeah. So I think it's an impressive design, and I really like playing it handheld. I do. It's just the fact that the ergonomics are still not fully there.
And when you side by side that with like the Ally X.
Exactly, yeah. If you pick one up and the other, it just reminded me of like why I love the Ally X immediately.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We're looking forward to the Ally X box.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that next week.
Yeah, the ergonomics of that excite me.
Yeah.
It looks ugly as hell.
Ugly as hell.
But the ergonomics are beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's kind of form over function, isn't it?
Yeah.
Substance or style, what's your choice? But comparing the Switch to the Ally, when you jump over to the Ally X or back to it, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
And the night and day difference.
Yeah.
And that night and day difference stretches over to the joysticks.
That is the biggest thing that's
Jesus.
Yeah. Because you've got full-size joysticks. I mean, I have swapped my Ally X sticks out for the TMR ones.
Did you use the Ghoulie Kit ones?
No. I've done a complete review.
I know. I was trying to remember what it was.
Handheld DIY.
Yes, it was.
We had the Ghoulie Kit ones.
Yeah.
And they're fine.
Yeah.
But they're just Hall effect.
Yeah. You went for the TMR.
I went for the Handheld DIY TMR with actual buttons on the back.
Do you think we'll see capacitive ones coming?
Are they what?
Do you think we'll see capacitive ones?
Oh, what, for the Ally X?
Yeah.
Oh, if we do, I'll chuck them in instead.
Yeah, because that's an interesting development that we saw with MOBAPAD. And I didn't realise, but after the video, there was a few people that commented saying capacitive joysticks in a couple of other brands' controllers as well.
Okay.
I think Ghoulie Kit was one of them.
They've
got
okay.
One. Someone also accidentally made the mistake of saying the Steam Deck already has this.
Yeah, you're misinformed there.
Yeah,
you're confused.
But it is confusing because the capacitive tops to the joysticks, there's a different.
And
they should call it something else.
At the start of the video,
I know
I literally said, this is not like a Steam Deck where you touch it and it enables gyro. No. This is the type of module. I clarified that.
Yeah. But it's the joystick modules, and going back to the comparison, the Switch 2, them again massively improved over the Switch 1.
Yes.
But they are still the
little nubs.
Yeah, they're nubbins.
Yeah, they're like rocker sticks.
And they're not TMR, they're not Hall effect.
No.
But then the Ally X isn't by default.
No. Yeah, the Ally X just got potentiometers by default.
But because they're full-size potentiometers, they're going to last way longer.
Yeah. And
potentially never have a problem.
And they just feel nicer.
And more precise. Yeah. And I find with the Joy-Con ones, I'm overcompensating a lot of the time.
Yeah, see, for me, it's again, they've gone style over function, like keeping it as thin as possible, because obviously if you've got full-size joystick module, the thing's going to bulge out.
Thicker than the Joy-Con is.
Yeah, it will like jump out of it like massively. So I understand why they've done it, and it works, like it's fine. But if you want to play like, let's say Call of Duty handheld, when it comes to Switch 2, like the Ally X is going to be like using an Xbox Elite controller versus, using like a Mad Catz.
I knew you were going to say it.
Someone commented on one of our videos recently, like saying, bring back, or no, it was something about Mad Catz. Yeah. And I was thinking, we should bring back.
The age of the Mad Catz is finally
over. That was it. I was like, we need to bring back Mad Catz.
Mad Catz need to come back.
I want Mad Catz Joy-Con alternatives.
And it's purposefully bad.
Yeah.
Mad Catz, like a £10 controller. Just come back, because I reckon collectors will buy it.
I'll buy it. You can send us all your products and we'll review each one.
Yeah, 100%. I'd love to.
Oh, it's amazing.
Mad Catz. The joysticks and the Switch too. I find I'm over aiming or overcompensating a lot because of the rocker movement.
They're just twitchy because of that weird rocker. But they are larger modules than the Switch 1.
Yeah.
So they are nicer. Like I'm having way more fun using them compared to the Switch 1. But again, when you compare it to the Ally X, it's just not even a comparison.
No. I'm kind of moving through my head on like the big things. Screens are the next big one. You're comparing the Ally X and Switch 2. And now this is where it gets kind of interesting.
Yeah, because the Ally X has only got a 7-inch.
Yep.
Whereas the Switch 2's got a 7.9 inch.
And honestly makes a huge difference.
It does make a big difference, yeah.
I was disappointed with the announcement of the Ally Xbox. That it wasn't an 8-inch screen.
I'm still gutted about that.
Because I think, as we've kind of found now, that 8-inch screen is like the perfect premium size for a handheld.
That's the one thing that makes me really enjoy, and I can overlook the bad ergonomics and the bad joysticks, is when I am playing handheld, I'm like, this is cool.
Yeah, it's really
cool.
It's
really cool.
8-inch, 120 hertz VRR monitor.
With HDR. The Ally X does not have that.
No, it's very impressive. Now, the screen on the Ally X is impressive in of itself.
Oh yeah, that's also it's 7-inch, 120 hertz VRR. Yeah,
very impressive. And they're holding on to that with the new models that are coming. Yep. Speaking to ASUS about it, it's one of the most important things is the VRR screen that they have in
that. Absolutely.
And that they're not going to sacrifice that just for the sake of having an OLED.
This is one thing that I really like about them. Yeah. As much as the ill-informed scream about OLED being the best, VRR matters.
Yes.
I want to make that a t-shirt.
Yeah.
VRR matters.
Great t-shirt idea.
and the fact that they are fully aware of it just shows that they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they're not doing a Lenovo and going, have OLED VR.
And actually have a little bit of a Nintendo attitude to it, which is nice. It's like, no, we care most about the consistency of experience
The experience of your gameplay.
You can all be upset by that, but you'll come to realise over time that you're glad that we made this choice.
Yeah.
Whereas there's other brands that will do things just for what's popular.
Yeah.
Or they'll slap things on a box that because they think it looks good, like 8K.
Yes. Yeah, but it's true though, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They're thinking of sales and not the actual product.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about ASUS.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you want to complain about them.
But I'll just say it, just stick my neck out. The screen on the Switch 2 is better than the screen on the Ally X.
Oh.
I'm going to say it. It just is better.
Oh, this is tough.
It's better on paper.
It's better on
bigger
paper.
Size.
Yeah.
And I'm having a better time with it. And now there's been a lot of backlash about the screen.
I was going to say, this is difficult because whilst on first glance, aesthetically, like just what your eye will look at, I would say the Switch 2 screen is the choice winner.
Yeah.
Purely down from size.
Yes.
Because 8 inches, I know it's not 8 inches, 7.9, whatever, be pedantic.
Yeah.
You know, 8 inches really is where it should be now. Like, that should be the size going forward.
That's got to be the standard.
Screw the panel type.
Yeah.
Like, just 8 inch in size, like, that is the right size. I don't even think it needs to go bigger than that, ever.
No, I don't
like,
think so.
8 is just the sweet spot. Now, I know Asus chose 7 inch to keep the size down because they wanted it to be portable. That's cool, like, you know, because it is a small PC handheld in comparison to what's out there.
Yeah.
Look at the Acer 11 inch.
Natural blaze.
But yeah, if you saw a Switch 2 and an Ally X side by side, I'd be going, I want the size of the Switch 2, but the screen in the Ally X is better.
Oh, I like it. We disagree. It's good.
Oh,
I think size rules.
Yeah.
Supreme.
Yeah. Yes, I think I would want that size over it.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to go back from it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if you're missing out technically on like the quality of the actual panel, climbing back down from an 8 inch back to a 7 is very difficult.
I
when you're dealing with something that you're talking about small screens either way.
Yeah,
that's quite a big percentage of screen real estate.
An inch counts.
Every inch.
But it does though. You know, that is a big amount of screen size there.
Yeah.
You know, so it is tough. I mean, I would say the Ally X screen is better because of all the ghosting issues and stuff that you get on the Switch 2, which I would argue doesn't matter for the Switch 2, but I would argue matters for the Ally X.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the Ally X is more powerful.
Yes.
Is running games at much higher frame rates.
Yes.
With the help of fake frames, you know, frame gen and stuff. Imagine frame gen already looks like ass. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it looks terrible. So if you're dealing with frame gen artifacting and input latency already,
and then
have screen ghosting on top of that because of a low response rate panel, that's really going to be a you know, people would be, imagine everyone that's screaming about the lack of OLED, which they've been doing on Switch and on the Ally.
Yeah, it did on the Ally,
Right? So imagine people, that would just give them more ammo. Like, but now you've got ghosting issues.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, I understand that. I would argue it doesn't matter as much on the Switch 2.
I agree.
Because it's so big. That is the big captivating point there. The games are so colourful and vibrant and fun, and they're still between 30 and 60 FPS.
Yep.
Like, it just doesn't matter. Like,
well, it doesn't matter so much that unless you're filming it at like 120 FPS or 240
high
FPS,
frame rate,
you're actually not gonna. And I'll say this from first-hand experience: you don't notice it.
No,
you just don't notice it.
You don't notice it. Yeah.
It's the games that you're playing on there. You just won't notice it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. And even in Cyberpunk, I've not noticed it. But then Cyberpunk's running at 30 FPS.
Yeah.
So I'm probably not going to notice it.
If I'm critical, I will notice it.
Yeah.
And I can see that mostly, and I don't know actually if what I'm seeing is a DLSS artifact.
Yes.
Where stuff in the distance. If you're looking at a character animation, you can see the ghosty trail behind them.
Yeah.
I actually think that's an upscaling artifact
That's
and
upscaling,
not a ghosting screen issue.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me. I've been playing stuff on it. Like I played loads of Mario Kart handheld, Fast Fusion handheld, even Zelda. I've been playing handheld. I know I say I've been playing docked more, which is weird for me because I always love handheld. But when I have been playing handheld, I've not been going, oh, this is horrible. I'm enjoying the games. I'm like, wow, look how good the performance is now. Look how fun this game is. I'm not there like sat analyzing it. And I don't think it's a bad thing for people to find this information out and bring to the public. Like it's a fact.
Yeah.
And
with all technology products, it's good that people find the problems because then we know how things can improve.
Yeah.
And then when there's a new iteration, we see if we can compare.
Yes.
And that's kind of a lot of commentators' jobs is to find the problems.
Yeah.
So you can make more informed choices
but
about stuff.
It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah. And every second I've had with the Switch 2 has been a good time.
Yes. Yeah.
Every second I had with the Ally X was not every second, actually. That is
you
a
don't
lie.
like Windows, yeah.
I hate... Yeah. No, it's not I don't like Windows.
You hate it.
So I hate Windows. No, Windows for a gaming device... You're all just coping with it. You're just putting up with the problems, especially handheld.
Yeah.
You're really putting up with the problems.
Yeah.
There's problems.
Yes.
The machine isn't getting out of the way of itself to let you play. The machine is in the way of letting you play. And yes, you have to overcome that. Maybe that's part of the fun and the challenge.
For PC gamers, it's fine.
Yeah, I get it.
But for non-PC gamers, you're going to be really
The machine
upset.
is in the way.
Yeah, you're going to be upset.
But once the machine gets out of the way, it's a phenomenal experience.
And that's what's going to happen with the Xbox Ally X.
I'm excited for that.
Because Xbox OS is going to be game-changing.
Much like how the Steam Deck was game-changing.
Yeah,
in the fact that it's giving access to PC gaming without the machine getting in the way as much.
Yeah.
The operating system really does it. Xbox OS or whatever it is they're finally going to call it.
I don't know. We'll just keep rolling with Xbox OS.
Xbox OS. It's really going to be impressive.
Yeah.
But back to the thing about the screens. I think the Switch 2 screen is better.
Yeah.
Just purely because of the size. And the flaws that exist, you don't notice when you're playing.
Yes, yeah. And
so
again,
just have fun.
I think the size is better by far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the Switch 2 screen on the Ally X because of the ghosting issues. I think would be more prevalent.
Yes.
Because it's a PC.
Yeah.
And there is too many tinkering points there where you can get 120 FPS.
It's another variable is what's wrong here.
So
as well.
like with the Switch 2, you are locked at what that game gives you.
Yeah.
Okay, there might be a performance mode, might be 60 FPS. On PC, I could drop everything down to potato, and get 120 FPS in a game. I've run Call of Duty at 120 FPS on the Ally X, right? And I think those kind of ghosting issues and stuff will be more prevalent
100%.
at higher frame rates and lower resolutions. So, if you're maxing out the Ally X, well, then your frame rate's going to be so low that you probably won't even notice it anyway, Yeah. So whilst I'm like on the fence, I think they're the right screens for the devices they are in.
It's a good way of putting it. Can we talk about performance?
Yeah, this is a tough one because the Switch 2 actually, it's got some grunt now.
Well, it puts up a fight, doesn't it?
It does put up a fight, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
None of us really expected coming into this new Nintendo generation.
No.
That we would be talking about like AAA games on it. And that they would be comparable performance to hardware.
PS5.
Well...
At 10 times less power.
If we're talking what for what, then the Switch 2 wins. Aren't we?
By miles.
The efficiency is ridiculous. The side-by-side of Cyberpunk 2077 on PS5 compared to Switch 2.
Yeah.
Switch 2 running at 20 watts.
And the PS5 was 220.
And it looks the same.
It's just, PS5 was double the frame rate.
Yeah.
But at 10 times the power.
10 times the power.
And it literally looked the same. I thought it was a joke at first.
I thought it was a joke. I thought they were tricking.
Nah.
We're talking about a Digital Foundry side by side they did.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought it was going to be a trick. They're like, we swapped them around. Or it's the same image duplicated.
Yeah. It didn't look right.
No.
That was incredible. I mean, the video is not out yet. It's going to be out, I think, next week.
Yeah.
Where I'm doing a comparison of Cyberpunk running on the Ally X and versus the Switch 2. And I don't want to ruin that at all. But wow, it is ridiculous. What's the outcome is crazy.
I don't know how we address this without ruining that video.
Let's just say that the Switch 2 really holds its own, but the Ally X, because it's a PC and that you have ultimate tweakability, you can get it running better on the Ally X by far. Like, you can get many more frames. It's just the image quality does not hold up, because obviously for higher frame rate, you sacrifice image quality. That's always the trade-off. Performance modes are always worse looking than quality modes.
I'll just say that he sent me he was making a video, he sent me a still image screenshot, 200% zoom.
Yeah.
So we could see a side by side. He's like, one of these is the Switch 2, one of these is my Ally X. Which one is which? And I got it wrong.
Yeah.
And the difference was stark as well. Image quality wise.
Yes.
Like, look, that's genuinely
and that
shocking.
Was docked, like both consoles at maximum power.
Yeah. Genuinely shocking. So, and I think that's the kind of underwriting feeling of the performance of the Switch 2. Like, the hardware is genuinely shocking. It's like a surprise how capable this is.
It all comes down to the fact, and we've been bashing on it for ages, and everyone has complained, like, you guys are overhyping it, you're overselling it. It's like, we are not. Like, we just understand that DLSS is the pure reason why Switch 2 actually is incredible.
That hardware-based kind of like upscaling is the entire reason why all of AMD's and PlayStation's focus for the next generation hardware is on hardware-based. The AMD version, the FSR 4. It's all in response to how good DLSS is. Like how good like hardware-based upscaling actually is.
And I love AMD. I've got a full AMD PC system. You know, I'm using an FSR 4 right now. I've got a 9070 XT. It's great. But you can't, like, even I can't, like, I was team green for ages, and now I've gone over to team red. But Nvidia is better. Like, it is. It's just the fact that they charge far more for their stuff, and that's why I didn't do it. You know, if I was a millionaire, I'd have a 5090.
Now, there was part of us that thought that the next generation for Xbox was going to move to Nvidia.
Yeah, well, they kind of just slandered AMD randomly.
About a year ago, they were like really negative.
And now they've backtracked it.
Well, they've made a commitment together for like everything going forward. The next generation.
That's just because they want to get ahead of PS6.
Maybe that they get PSSR before PlayStation.
FSR 4 before PlayStation do. Yeah. Even though PlayStation have been developing it with them.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's amazing. Microsoft's just like, can we have it first? Here's some cash.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah. Why not?
Go on then.
We'll call it something different.
But because of that, this is why the performance is so good on the Switch 2, and why we're loving playing it, and how I can play Breath of the Wild now at 4K 60 and it not look like absolute turd. You know, like, it's running so well.
Do you remember the rumors before Switch 2 came out, like a year, maybe 2 years before?
That behind closed doors they saw Breath of the Wild running at 4K 60 and no one believed it. They were like, no.
I didn't believe it.
I didn't believe it.
I was like, no, that's nonsense.
I was like, yeah, that's rubbish.
4K 60 out of a Switch. No, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
The performance is genuinely surprising, and I will say, if you're like playing a game straight out of the box, it gives the Ally X a run for its money.
Oh yeah.
But of course, like you say, you could spend a lot more time on the Ally X tweaking every little detail, and you'll be able to get better performance out of it. And it, from a raw power point of view, it'll be able to power through a lot more than the Switch 2 can.
Oh yeah, I mean, just looking at the Cyberpunk thing, because this doesn't really say much. Switch 2, you've got 30 FPS mode, or if you've got 120 hertz TV, you've got a 40 FPS mode, which fluctuates. That's not locked 40. That's like somewhere between 30 and 40, depending on where you're at. So really, in my opinion, I'm going to get flack for this, Cyberpunk is the best played on quality mode at 30 FPS cap. It's incredibly smooth on the Switch 2. I prefer that. If you're in performance mode, you notice dips.
Yes.
Because there's no docked VRR. You know, so you've noticed dips. Handheld didn't notice as much, but I still felt more fluid, weirdly, at locked 30.
That's interesting.
Because there's no variable there. But with the Ally X, I was getting upwards of 80 FPS in Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
80.
It's like a ridiculous.
It's like 3 times
yeah.
the amount, like pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
So or double the amount if you're on performance mode. But
there's going to be an interesting thing in the test of time as well.
Yeah.
There's still headroom left in the performance of the Ally X, like the hardware.
Yeah, and that's dating now.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
Z1E
Extreme
is old.
Yeah. But it's been superseded already, and we've seen the announcements for Z2E, the Xbox Ally X in particular. But there is still room in that. There's still life in that. There's still legs in that. The really interesting thing is going to be how the NVIDIA Integra chip holds up in the Switch 2.
Yes.
Over time.
Well, again, I think that DLS is just going to be like saving grace for the next 5 years on it. I think we'll get 5 years out of the Switch 2 of like, this is really good.
Yeah.
And then it will be a Switch 1 situation.
Yes.
Where the last 3 years are going to be like, this is kind of sucky now.
Yeah.
You know? But it all comes down to how good devs port stuff, because we've seen Cyberpunk and stuff do so well, and really they had limited time. In 5 years' time, people will have been developing Switch 2 titles for so long, they'll be really good at it, you know? So we might find that we get even more impressive ports than Cyberpunk, because that's an older game, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we still haven't seen, I mean, it's Ubisoft, don't give them too much credit, but we still haven't seen Star Wars Outlaws.
I hope they've not broken it, because I've pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I pre-ordered
a Ubisoft game.
I know. And I did what I just said at the beginning of this video I shouldn't do, of if I've got it on PC, I shouldn't buy it on Switch.
Yeah.
I've already pre-ordered it again on Switch 2. But, you know, we'll see.
That purposeful building, as in that optimizing for the platform, is what can happen on Switch 2 that can't happen on the Ally X.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest factors here.
And that's where the Switch 2 is really going to win over any PC handheld.
Yes.
It's the developers can spend time. They know the player base is there, so it's worth them doing it.
Far larger.
And there's only one piece of hardware they have to develop for.
Yes, rather than loads of iterations.
Now, I know in the AMD and the Xbox announcements and stuff, they're talking about spending more time with developers, making sure they focus resources on handheld gaming specifically for the Xbox Ally. And that will obviously roll over to the Ally X.
Yeah.
But they can't really, because there's way too many variables.
Yeah.
Just in the PC handheld space right now, let alone what's going to be in 2 years
Yeah,
time.
I mean, to be fair, I think the only one that it could work for is the Xbox Ally X.
Yeah.
Because it's the Xbox Ally X. You know, they've got the power of Xbox, and Xbox are basically the only game publisher now on the planet. So they can make sure that the game freaking runs on it.
But even that, there's 2 variants.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, you're right. But then is that any different than making it run on a Series S versus a Series X?
No, it's not. But it's
more work. For sure.
Yeah. If you're a third-party developer, you're looking and go, well, Nintendo only need one platform.
Yeah. Basically, if there's an Xbox-owned company, which is most of them, then you're guaranteed to get a better experience, I think, in future on these handhelds if you're on the ASUS side.
A little tangent. I had a thought about we were certain that in the Xbox Developer Direct last month, or the start of this month, whenever it was, that we would see them announce games for the Switch 2.
Yes. No.
I don't think it's going to happen until after the Xbox Ally.
Yeah, do you think?
I think they
want people jumping on there first.
They want handheld. They want to do their games handheld first.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's like, we believe it might be August time. Yeah. It might be a little bit later.
Maybe, yeah.
So that'd be interesting anyway. But yeah, you're going to, when you've got games that are available on both platforms, I would argue you're going to get, you're more likely to get more out of the Nintendo Switch version.
Yes.
Than you are if you've got
an
aging piece of hardware.
That is the reason why I bought Star Wars Outlaws on Switch 2, because I want to see how Ubisoft
how they've handled it,
how they've developed it, and utilized DLSS.
Yeah.
Because that is something that the Ally X does not have.
Yeah.
And even the Xbox Ally X does not have machine learning because it's RDNA 3.5. We won't see that until potentially the end of next year, where we get RDNA 4 and FSR 4 on these handhelds.
And that'll be the Z3 chips.
That'll be the only way that you can match the the NVIDIA's DLSS in the Switch 2. And then you've got the problem of FSR has been out for all of this year now, FSR 4?
Yeah.
And there's like a handful of games that support it.
Yeah.
Because it's got to be implemented by the devs. Everything has NVIDIA DLSS because NVIDIA is such a freaking Goliath. They make sure everything has it. So it's still, even when we get machine learning in these handhelds, it still will not be as widely supported.
It's interesting.
So it's a tough one. So that's my issue. Is like I've played Star Wars Outlaws on the Ally X and I streamed it to you whilst I was doing so.
Yeah.
So you were watching me playing it on the handheld whilst I was playing on it handheld. So it runs. You can play it, but I mean it's suboptimal, for sure. Especially because we played it right at the beginning and the game was kind of janky. But seeing how the DLSS works on the Switch 2, I bet that it will be better image quality and probably run better. So this is the trade-off. Some games are going to be better on the Ally X because you have ultimate control.
Yes.
You can enable stuff like frame gen. You can use Intel XeSS, which is far better image quality, like better stability out of upscaling than FSR. You only really want to be using FSR if you're going to use frame gen.
Yeah.
So you've got these things at play for you to try, whereas you don't on the Switch 2. It's like, here's the game.
Mode, quality mode.
Yeah. And if the devs have screwed it on Switch 2, then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Whereas at least on the Ally X, it's just PC version. So if it kind of sucks, well, then you probably can polish it a bit. But, with the Switch 2, you get what you get.
Yeah.
But because, like you've said, there's far many millions more Switch 2s going to be sold, every developer is going to put some time into making their game work.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it will ultimately win in terms of that. But yeah, I mean, I guess the last part of it, if you want to go there now, I don't know if you've got any other options, is like cost and who it's for.
100%. That is it. And they're for different people.
Yeah.
In truth,
I think so.
They're for different people.
Not for me. They're both for me.
Yeah, there's going to be an overlap. It's like this.
They're both for me.
Well, these Venn diagrams. There's going to be an overlap for certain.
Yeah.
The Switch 2 is half the price.
It's literally 50% less.
And you're getting very comparable performance.
Massively comparable. Like closer than you would want to admit.
Yes. Yeah.
So
from a value perspective, it's got a bigger screen.
Yes.
So we disagree. So arguably,
I still would take the bigger screen. I'd want that.
So you've got arguably a better screen.
Yeah.
You got half the price, similar performance in some scenarios, worse ergonomics. You've got access to all of Nintendo's first-party IPs.
There's the biggest one,
which you don't have
Yeah.
anywhere else, unless you're willing to use Dolphin and break some rules and stuff.
Play Echo the Dolphin, yeah.
Yeah. Can I just say I hate emulation? I'm just going to say I really don't like it. I've never had a good experience with it.
Once you get it right, then you can.
Yeah, I need to spend some. I need someone to come and sit with me.
As we've seen with Nintendo's kind of poor effort on the GameCube side.
Even Nintendo can't get emulation right. Yeah, that's true.
You can on the Ally X.
Yes,
you can get no latency.
And imagine if you really want to spend some time and really refine your emulation experience, you'd have an amazing piece of hardware there.
Oh yeah, the Ally X is an emulation god.
But who's it? They're for different people.
I
guess that's the point. Is they're different people.
Yeah. So the reason why it overlaps for me is because the Switch 2 has Nintendo IPs, and I'm not going to be playing illegal versions. I want to buy these games and play them correctly, right? And as intended. So that is the big thing. Now, there's the straddle of the line is if you're a PC gamer that's on a budget, okay, this is kind of not right because you can buy a Z1 Extreme Ally for like the cost of a Switch 2. And there lies you probably want to just go and buy one of them instead. But
if it's just on the price?
Yeah, if you're on the price. But where I'm getting at is before, Switch 2 was the only way of playing AAA games on the go, right?
Yes.
Obviously now we've got like the Ally and the Ally X and all those other PCs. But we're just comparing Ally X here, right? So it's double the price. But a lot of third-party games are going to be coming on Switch 2.
Yep.
So you could pay 50% less for the console on Switch 2. Pretend there's no Nintendo IPs here. Maybe you don't care. You just, you know, you just want to play AAA games. You're going to have limited AAA games because you're going to have to wait for them.
Yeah.
You're going to be paying full price for them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, absolute top price.
Really good point.
But saying that, I mean, Star Wars Outlaws, I was expecting to be like 70 on Switch 2.
50, was it?
40.
45? Yeah.
It's like complete edition at 40.
Yeah.
Yes, it's cheaper on PC from Uncle CD Keys.
Yes, CD keys, instant gaming. And I think that's the thing. Like, if you're a PC gamer already, you know these things. And you know that if you add 1,000 games to your Steam watch list, that they're going to be on sale at some point.
Exactly. There's a sale right now, Summerfest.
Is there?
Yeah.
Games are a lot cheaper.
Yes.
It just is how it is. So over the course of your lifetime of ownership, you're going to save money probably on PC.
Massively. Yeah, you're going to save loads of money.
I think there's a more interesting, like, who's it for? The Ally X was touted, and most of the PC handhelds are touted as companion devices.
Absolutely right, yes.
Therefore, people that already have a gaming PC and they want something to take with them so they can keep playing
with
on
their
the go.
Already existing library.
Yes.
And that's where I was really badly trying to get at with you can get third-party games on Switch 2, but you'll be paying a bit more for them.
If you're that situation, if you're the core audience, then it makes sense to get an Ally X.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have exactly the same experience. You're just going to take it on the go. Your same game library.
You don't have to buy stuff again.
Perfect. It's great.
Yeah.
So you'll save money even though it's more expensive.
Yeah,
and you'll have great hardware performance.
Yes.
There's an interesting point here though.
Yeah.
If you have neither.
Yes.
You don't have a gaming PC.
Yes.
And you want a handheld piece of gaming tech. That's how I want my main focus to be.
Yeah.
Now who is making a better choice?
Yeah,
and I would say in that situation, the Switch 2 is a better option.
If you're on a budget, I would say, because you're going to get really good performance that's going to outlast the Ally X.
You've got nothing. Could you justifiably argue in someone in that situation that the Ally X is better value than the Switch 2?
The only way you can justify that is by saying about the game prices.
Yeah. Because
you can just sheer bulk buy stuff off Steam for like nothing.
Saying that though, I can do that on the eShop.
You can, but there's Switch 1 titles in their ass.
There's some that are amazing though, much like there is on the Steam library, like 79p games.
I get you,
and stuff.
But
it does exist.
But they are like 140p resolution max. You know, like we bought Mortal Kombat Ultimate, and oh my days,
they've not upscaled it.
No, like
stretched
it's like Game Boy. Like, it feels like I'm playing the original Mortal Kombat.
I'm glad I didn't buy any of those games on my watch list.
It's bad. Like, Christina bought a load. She spent like 10 quid on like 1,000 eShop games, and they're like really poor. Like, you know, they look terrible.
I will say
fine,
they've massively improved the eShop. So for those of you that were scared off Nintendo because the eShop was horrible, it's so much better.
It is massively better. Yeah. But I would say gaming-wise, the price... is far better on PC. Yeah. So if you've literally got nothing and you're looking at Switch 2 and PC Ally X, right? Obviously everything's on Ally X. Mm-hmm. Right now there's like hardly any games on Switch 2. Yes, you can play original Switch 1 games. But it comes down to if like it's one of those charts, right, where you go down and choose the thing.
If yes, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want Nintendo games? If yes, well, just Switch 2. That's it.
Done, yeah.
Right? Do you only want to play third party? Now it becomes a problem because, the Ally X is double the price, but you have access to all these games already. You're not waiting for them to be ported over to the Switch 2.
So now in this
and they're cheaper. One,
they're cheap. So price-wise, you go, this is an interesting debate. Yeah. Now you've got to look at the person. Yeah. If they're not a PC gamer. Then that's
another problem.
Because now you've got Windows getting in the way.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Right now, yes. If Xbox OS was out this second, it would be a different story.
When that drops and that rolls out to all of the PC handhelds, it changes the handheld gaming changed forever.
Yeah. It will absolutely change.
It's a really important
It'll change it more than SteamOS ever has.
100% will.
Because, your Linux based on SteamOS.
Yep.
The Xbox OS will enable you to play everything much, much easier. But you're right, that is an issue. If you're a nobody it depends if you've got PC background or if you've got console background or if you've never played a game in your life. Then Switch 2 is probably the better option if you come from console. If you want a side thing to your Xbox or your, I don't know, your PlayStation, maybe Switch 2's a thing for you. If you've literally got nothing ever, Switch 2 is going to be the far easiest use case for you to be able to turn on and play a game without any issue and not needing to know anything. Little Billy can pick up. He had to make a show, and he had to turn up.
He's always here somewhere.
But Little Billy could pick up a Switch 2 and be playing his game in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Little Billy cannot buy Ally X. Spend 2 hours setting up Windows.
Am I Little Billy?
You're Little Billy, yeah.
Oh my God.
Little AJ. Little AJ would have to buy his Ally X.
I think there's even more interesting caveats now.
Spend all that time setting it up.
If you
it's just
if you're a console gamer, your instinct goes to Switch 2 makes most sense. Unless you're an Xbox gamer, in which case I'd argue the Ally X makes more sense.
It absolutely makes more sense.
Because of Game
Pass. I'm glad
Pass.
you picked me up on that. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I recall my experience with the Ally X, and it was just a mobile Game Pass machine.
Yes.
And for that, it was like absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I didn't have to buy any new games.
Yes, just
much the same as if I was a PC gamer.
Yep.
If the situation there was that I only had a PS5 and I wanted a handheld device, then maybe the Nintendo one makes more sense.
Maybe, unless you want to go to the dark side and go Game Pass.
As soon as you go this is the problem. As soon as you go Game Pass, you're never turning your PlayStation on again.
I sold mine.
I did as well.
Yeah.
Well, I actually haven't sold it yet.
I could play stuff like Stellar Blade on my Ally X. Yeah. You've just put it in the naughty corner.
It's just in the naughty corner. If you watch any videos of like me in like my space on my own, you'll see it just on the floor
next to the recycling bin,
gathering dust. Yeah. But as soon as Game Pass happens, you're like, I'm not switching to PlayStation on again.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I switching on for? Death Stranding 2, I guess, is the only thing recently that's worth looking at.
Is it?
I don't know.
I still haven't played the first one.
The first one I never I bought it and never played it.
If I want to walk, I'll go on a treadmill.
I'll go to the beach, thanks.
yeah. No, I do want to play Death Stranding 1, but I'm not.
I haven't got the energy for that.
I'm not fussed about it. It just seems boring to me.
Yeah, I'm sure there's excitement in it. Hideo Kojima doesn't make bad games.
I don't know. So. Supposedly, he did a playtest for number 2, and people enjoyed it too much, so he had to go in and make it less enjoyable.
Please tell me that's true.
Yeah, apparently so. It could be hearsay, but it's supposedly, he's a creative genius, isn't he? He's like, it's like Yeezy.
Can do no wrong. It's like Radiohead.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Purposely making challenging things for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tricky. Is it better? Is one better than the other? I think get a bank loan, buy 2.
Yeah.
Buy both.
That's the thing. Like for me, because I've been a handheld gamer forever, I only had one option.
You're living your best life right now.
I am, yeah, that's it. Well, no, I'm not, because I'm really sad I don't have an Xbox Ally X, nor do I have a way of, potentially getting one. So I'm a bit sad there.
Or PlayStation handheld. When's that going to happen? Come on.
We've got it. It's the portal. But yeah, for me, it's difficult because I've got this issue now of being spoiled. I've got an Ally X and a Switch 2. And every time I see a game announced for the Switch 2, I'm like, I want to buy that one now. It's like, but I could just buy it like quarter of the price on Ally. Like it's that's the dilemma I've got.
I think in truth, if you've got an Ally X now, hold tight. You've got the best device for you right now.
I would say that Switch 2 I think will outlive the Ally X.
Yes. Well, yeah, for certain will.
Because of the developers being able to spend time polishing DLSS.
I would say if you're having any kind of frustration or friction with it, with your experience with Windows and stuff and the like, then consider moving it on. And if you're going to move it on, I'd consider moving it on quite quickly.
Yeah. Although I would say if your only hang up is Windows, then we know Xbox OS is coming.
Good point.
So just hold on to it.
Yeah.
And it will get better.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point, because the rumors are that Xbox OS is going to roll out the end of this year.
Yeah.
This is rumors.
Right.
I did ask ASUS, and they went, "No,
did you make
can't
these
talk
rumors
about
up?
that." I made this. No, I read it somewhere.
Did you write it somewhere and then find it and go, look, it says it?
If you look for the username on Reddit, Little Timmy.
Yeah, Little AJ. I like it.
ASUS won't confirm or deny anything, obviously. So we don't know. I don't have a line of communication with Microsoft because
why not? I thought you knew Phil Spencer.
I am Phil Spencer.
I thought you were like twins.
Me and Phil Spencer are twin brothers, apparently. According to YouTube. But yeah, really good point. Hold on to it because we will see it. I think we'll see it at the end of this year.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm being positive.
Because
there's a potential it could be a long time.
I also think it could be longer, but we'll discuss that in another video. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, guys,
it's a tough one to talk about, isn't it? Because they both have such big pros and cons,
and they both have such valid places.
Yeah,
and they both coexist.
Yeah,
and both can coexist. And you could, if you've got the means to, you could have both.
Yes,
and have a great time.
Absolutely. For me, they are companion devices of each other.
Yep.
Like I would happily have.
They offer different
both.
Things.
Yes.
Different games, different experiences.
Yeah. Nintendo stuff on my Switch 2 and, any titles that I've got from my Switch 1 is going to be great.
Yeah.
And for everything else.
And that ease of use, putting it on your TV just with a dock, it's really quite cool.
That's what I've been liking because I don't play my Ally X dock now. I got rid of the eGPU.
Yeah.
I just play it on my PC, but the Switch being able to just drop it in, that's the ultimate winner of the Switch 2 is convenience.
Ease of use is just
ease of use. That's what makes it
and I think
amazing.
We've all got busy lives and like actually carving out time to game is a deal for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So the ability to pick up and play it is a big thing.
Massive.
They both give you that. The fact that the operating system's not going to get in the way of you and it's going to be a lot more straightforward, that's a huge win.
Yeah.
And if you've got a minute, you look around, no one's using the TV, I pop it in and now I'm playing on the big screen.
Yeah.
And getting great performance on the big screen too.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just ease of use, it wins.
Yes. Down. Yeah. That's the ultimate winner for it there.
Yeah. And for the price, it's kind of incredible.
That's the thing as well. Like people, we can hang up on the screen ghosting and whatever else, but you're getting like almost PC quality here at half the price of an Ally X.
When I consider it all, I don't know how they've managed to make it at that price.
I know, yes.
They must be losing money on it.
I don't know. Well, that's where they've cut the corners on the like dodgy HDR and, like the lower screen. It's like, what do people expect? All these people that are crying about it. It's like, yes, it's a fact. It's a worse quality LCD, but you're paying £400 for the whole package here. Like if you spent $1,000 on this, if this was the price of an Ally X, I'd be really upset by these problems. I'd want top quality stuff.
I want proper joysticks.
Yeah,
I want a screen that has no ghosting.
Yeah.
And I also want higher performance, 30 FPS and Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
I want more.
Yeah, but you're paying £400. It's like a third more or less than the original Switch at launch.
Yeah.
And you're getting like so much more.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible.
Yeah.
What do you guys think,
Yes.
though? Let me know in the comments down below, which is the choice for you, or is it both?
Yeah.
Are you currently in the market for one or the other?
Yes.
Let us know what you think down in the comments.
Yes.
I genuinely think this is a really interesting comparison.
It is, yeah. And
it's impossible for me to choose between, truthfully.
For me, I'd have to have both. But let us know if you want to see more Ally X stuff. I know some of you have been complaining about our paid Nintendo shills.
We are Nintendo shills, unfortunately. And whilst you're down there, make sure you like this video, subscribe for more Switch 2 and handheld gaming content.
There you go.
What else could they do?
Become a member and you can pay for us to actually be able to buy these handhelds. Yeah.
99p goes a long way. Well, YouTube take half, but there you go.
You could talk to us on our private Discord.
Yeah. So until the next time.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Thank
there
you.
We go.
There we go.
I remember
One day you'll remember it.
I won't.